Hey guys, what's up? Toboloco here. Welcome back to your subscriber World Cup for the month of February. I asked you guys last time to pick Asian and African teams, and you guys came through with some really nice entries. We got quite a lot of entries, but most of them were double or triple entries and stuff. So this one is just a single subscriber World Cup. I do apologize. A couple of people would have missed out. I just didn't see the point in doing a double subscriber World Cup if the double one is going to be filled with bots. Like, literally, there would have been about, like, I don't know, 10 bots in the whole thing. So I decided just to do one and just have a couple of casualties. So I do apologize to the few people that did miss out on this one. However, we have to try and find who is going to be our subscriber World Cup winner for the month of February with this Asia/African special that we did because of the Asia and African Cups that happened last month. So, reading from Group A, we have Eritrea represented by Zion Molina, Lesotho represented by Lahaf Soto, Pakistan represented by the Hotspur Bloke, and North Korea was a double entry between Visabaka and Papaya 8. In Group B, we have Cape Verde Islands represented by Teddy Hart, Loraf Channel, and The Boy 1430. So that's a triple entry. Tajikistan was a double entry between Odeki and Ossiman. Macau was represented by Mundinho Azul. And Ethiopia, as always, represented by Liquid. And in Group C, we have Mali was a triple entry represented by Kleptrep94, Comrade and GD Sparkman. Angola was a double entry between Anna Bras and Wolf Danalf. DR Congo was also a double entry with Ebsi and Velko representing that team. And South Africa was represented by Ryan Bromhead. In Group D, we have Mongolia represented by Captain Yoshi Deluxe. Comoros represented by Cuthbert McVeigh, UAE represented by Paninio, and Uzbekistan represented by William Junks. In Group E, Nigeria represented by quite a lot of people, Really Edits, S9 Sliver, Lena, Sean Lamont Tiger, and I'm sure there's a couple more people that I might have missed that are representing Nigeria. Tunisia was represented by John Casa. Burkina Faso represented by Hamlet and Madman E. Iraq represented by Wasteland Wanderer. Group F, Kenya represented by Triple R and Malik. Lebanon represented by JZ Edits. Indonesia represented by Virginia Man, and Sri Lanka represented by Stickman. In Group G, with the bigger sides, we have Ghana represented by SSMCSC and Colgate Africa. Japan was represented by Dose of Random Weekly, Brian Jimenez, Patrick Mealy, and Yao Yao from Hong Kong. South Korea was represented by Tanya Kernahan. Syria was represented by Ivory Trance. In Group H, we have China represented by Tracy Fern. Australia represented by Serbian Country Ball and True Sneaky. Iran represented by Mario Maroquin. And Ivory Coast represented by Declan Gaming. So, like I said, there was only about 3 or 4 people that missed out on this World Cup. I do apologise. I'll make sure that in April's Subscriber World Cup that you guys will be included in that one. The reason why I say April is because I'm not going to be here in March. I am abroad. So, yes, I am very much looking forward to having a holiday, but I will miss doing this in March, and of course, it gives you guys time to actually think about your entries for the next one. The next one is just anyone. You can be anyone you want. Alright then guys, so I will simulate these games off camera, and we'll check out the group stage in a bit. Okay then guys, we have simulated the entire group stage, and also you guys know who you all are representing, of course, because they are your own entries. So in Group A, we have North Korea topping that one with 9 points, Lesotho with 6 points, Pakistan did try but ultimately fell short, and Eritrea Well, they didn't really have a great campaign, did they? In Group B, Ethiopia topped that one with Cape Verde Islands just behind them. Again, Tajikistan did try, but it wasn't enough, and Macau was 0 points. In Group C, it was a lot closer with Angola and Congo DR going through, South Africa missing out by a point, and really surprisingly, Mali, really poor showing in that group. I expect Mali to do better most of the time, but sadly, this time round they only got 1 point. In Group D, Uzbekistan came out on top of that one, and Mongolia somehow managed to beat the likes of UAE to go through to the next round. Comoros only with a point in that group. In Group E, it was Nigeria and Burkina Faso that went through in that group. Iraq did have a good go, but ultimately fell short. And Tunisia, surprisingly, only getting 1 point in that group. In Group F, Lebanon and Kenya went through in that one. Indonesia with 3 points and Sri Lanka with 0. In Group G, we have Ghana and Japan going through, with South Korea being the casualty in that group. Syria only had 1 point in the end as well. And in Group H, we have Ivory Coast topping that group, with Australia going through as well. Iran with 4 points, but sadly someone had to go out in that group. And China had nothing in that group. So this is your round of 16. We have North Korea versus Cape Verde Islands, Angola versus Mongolia. We have Ethiopia versus Lesotho. We have Uzbekistan versus Congo DR. Nigeria versus Kenya. Ghana versus Australia. We have Lebanon versus Burkina Faso. And Ivory Coast versus Japan. Right, so now we do this part pretty much on camera because it's easier to do it this way. I simulated and it went a little bit further than I expected. So in the round of 16 matchups, we have Cape Verde Islands beating North Korea 1-0 and Angola beating Mongolia 3-0. I think it's because I'm not representing anybody on that side. It's all on the right hand side. And then I think on this day we have Lesotho beating Ethiopia 2-1 and Uzbekistan beating DR Congo by 3-0. Now we have a matchup between Nigeria and Kenya to look forward to, and also Ghana versus Australia. So you have to think that Nigeria will be winning this match in normal circumstances, but this is the Subscriber World Cup and anything can happen. Let's see what does happen in this match. Simulate that one, and it was a 6-0 victory for Nigeria. Nigeria probably looking like the strongest team now, to be honest. I mean, I know it's only Kenya, but still, that's a big result. Now we've got Ghana versus Australia. This is a really hard game to call, so I'm just going to simulate it and find out what happens. Okay, what happened? I don't actually know. It was a 2-0 to Ghana. That was quite a good result for Ghana, and these African teams are showing up at this World Cup. So we have Lebanon versus Burkina Faso. Again, you'd think that Burkina Faso will be winning, but I don't know. Something tells me that Lebanon can pull off something special. Let's have a look. It was a 3-2, so Lebanon almost did it, but Burkina Faso came out 3-2 winners in the end. Ivory Coast now versus Japan. This game can go either way. It's really hard to call. So let's simulate that one. And Japan have been eliminated. So Ivory Coast have advanced into the next round. So next up we have Nigeria versus Ghana. Again, a very hard game to call. And we also have Cape Verde Islands versus Angola after that one. So I'm going to simulate this one and find out what happens. It was a 1-0 to Nigeria, and Cape Verde Islands have beaten Angola by 2-0. Next up, we have Burkina Faso versus Ivory Coast and Lesotho versus Uzbekistan. Let's simulate this one to see who goes to the semis. And Burkina Faso have been eliminated, so it will be Cape Verde Islands versus Nigeria and Ivory Coast versus Uzbekistan. We could get a repeat, potentially, of the AFCON final in this Subscriber World Cup, which would be pretty wild. Especially when I did this to celebrate the fact that AFCON and the Asia Cup happened. But if you want to know, Ivory Coast beat Burkina Faso 1-0, and Uzbekistan beat Lesotho on penalties after a 2-2 draw. Unlucky Lesotho. That was a really good effort. So our next game here in the semi-finals is going to be Cape Verde Islands versus Nigeria. I honestly think it's going to be a Nigeria versus Ivory Coast final. I can just see it. I think this game is like become sentient and knows what's happening in real life. So I think it really wants that. But we'll see. We'll see if Cape Verde Islands can get to the final. And it was a 1-1, so we don't know yet, because obviously the penalties and extra time doesn't come up on the results, so we'll find out in a minute. Uzbekistan now versus Ivory Coast. I think Ivory Coast are going to do it, to be honest, but there could be a surprise in store if Uzbekistan won it. Oh, I just saw it. It was a 2-1 victory there. So, oh, wait, Nigeria have been eliminated. So somehow Cape Verde Islands are in the final. That's insane. So we got the third place playoff to simulate. Let's see what happens in that game. Just simulate this one. I bet it will be Nigeria. No, it wasn't. It was Uzbekistan. Uzbekistan did it. So before we play this final, you know, in real time, where we watch it, of course, we have to review the tournament tree. This is your tournament tree for the Subscriber World Cup. Again, you all know who you are, but I just wanted to read out the people that was representing Uzbekistan and Nigeria. Uzbekistan came third, and that is a monumental effort from Uzbekistan. Uzbekistan was represented by William Junks. So congratulations, you made it to third place with Uzbekistan. That is a huge effort, especially beating the likes of Nigeria in the third place playoff final. That's insane. Nigeria came fourth, and that was lots of people. It was really Edits, S9 Sliver, Lena, Sean the Mind Tiger, and quite a lot of other people, I imagine, that picked Nigeria. But yeah, no, you guys came fourth. Unlucky to lose against Uzbekistan. Alright then, Subscriber World Cup final time between these two nations. A bit of a surprise to see Cape Verde Islands in this final, but nonetheless, it's really cool. We almost got the Nigeria Ivory Coast final that happened in real life in AFCON, but let me just remind you who is who in this final. So, Cape Verde Islands are represented by 3 people. That is Teddy Hart, Lorax Channel, and the boy 1430. And they are up against the one person that picked Ivory Coast, and that is Declan Gaming. Of course, look how many orange shirts are surrounded in that box. It's going to be really difficult for Cape Verde Islands to score in this match. I don't really understand, like, just going a little bit away from the highlighted format a little bit, but like, I don't really understand how the AI can play this badly against itself. And obviously, you know, I guess it's playing itself, so it knows what it's going to do on the other end, but I don't know, it's just weird. Like, of course, I don't want to interfere with play, because then that will mean that I'm getting involved and stuff, but I don't know why it struggles so much against itself. Through ball to Ryan Mendes, and he scored! Cape Verde Islands have scored, and it's Ryan Mendes with the goal in the 57th minute, and it just rolls in, hits the post, and oh, that's amazing for Cape Verde Islands. That is absolutely huge. Tony Varela down to Ryan Mendes again. Mendes, oh, that was close. He could have doubled their lead and maybe put the game to bed. And they got it. It's crossed in, header. Oh, that was an unconventional save, but it got the job done. Here comes Cape Verde Islands. Oh, they could have doubled it. But I think once it's booted away, I think that Cape Verde Islands are going to win the Subscriber World Cup. They are literally seconds away from doing it. What a weird final, man. Like, what a weird final. I would have thought that Ivory Coast would have won that easily. But no, they didn't play well at all. And the winners of your Subscriber World Cup are Cape Verde Islands, represented by Teddy Hart, Loras Channel, and the boy 1430. Congratulations to you three, and commiserations to Declan Gaming. That was really unfortunate that Ivory Coast went to the final and dropped a performance like that. But that was your Subscriber World Cup for the month of February. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys again in April. Remember, there'll be no Subscriber World Cup for March, obviously, because I cannot take my recording equipment and my Xbox with me on vacation. I don't really want to do that. If you did enjoy this Subscriber World Cup, then give it a like and subscribe. Keep it local as always, and I'll see you again for the next video.